Good evening. I'll now call the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting of February 13th, 2023 to order. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Thank you. Item number 4 is roll call.
Chairperson Zurcher,
Here,
Vice Chairperson King,
Here.
Commissioner Laney, Commissioner Griffiths, Commissioner Evans,
Here.
Commissioner Rankin,
Here.
Commissioner Rutherford.
Here.
All right, and moving on to the approval of the minutes from the January 9th, 2023 meeting. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I move we approve the minutes from the January meeting.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Mr. Chair, I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All right, moving on to announcements. So this evening, this is an announcement for the Planning and Zoning Commission. We have new microphones, as you will see, that are in front of you. If you wish to speak, it's probably best if you want to go ahead and turn them off. And then if you wish to speak, just turn them right back on if you are wishing to speak. So I just want to announce that. So is there any staff announcements? Seeing none, we'll move on to the public hearing items. And so this evening, also just for clarification, the preliminary plan 22-010 will be heard with General Plan Amendment 22-004 and zoning map change 22-008. And then Preliminary Development Plan 22-002 will be heard with General Plan Amendment 22-005 and Zoning Map Change 22-010. And then I'll go ahead and read my opening statement. So good evening, my name is Matt Zurcher. I'm the chairperson of the Planning and Zoning Commission, and I'll be presiding over the Commission's deliberations on hearing items this evening. The Planning and Zoning Commission sits in an advisory capacity to the Town Council and reviews planning and zoning issues and forwards recommendations regarding these important issues to the Council. The Commission is bound by specific regulations and guidelines for considering applications, and there are a surprising number of things the Commission cannot take into consideration when reviewing an application. Finally, members of the Commission are volunteers and not paid employees. This evening's proceedings will be conducted using the following format. First, I'll read the hearing application into the record. Once the application has been read into the record, staff will present the case and the recommendations to the Commission. Members of the Planning and Zoning Commission will then direct any questions they have regarding the application to staff. After the Commission completes its initial review of the application, the applicant will have an opportunity to comment regarding the matter and answer any questions. After the applicant has completed their comments, I'll open the floor to general comments from the public regarding the current application being discussed. So with that, we'll move on to public hearing items and the action items that I'll be reading into the record. So 7A is General Plan Amendment 22-004. Upon the application of Purvis James and T. and Jonna M., a request for a General Plan Amendment, GPA, from community commercial to regional commercial on an approximately 5.72 acre parcel located on the southeast corner of Market Street and Great Western Drive. 7B, zoning map change 22-008. Upon the application of Purvis James T. and Jonna M., a request for a zoning map change from C2 PAD Industrial General Limited Planned Area Development to C3 PAD Commercial Minor Industrial Planned Area Development on approximately 5.72 acre parcel located at the southeast corner of Market Street and Great Western Drive. And then the preliminary development plan is PDP 22-010. Upon the application of Purvis James T. and Jonna M., a request for a preliminary development plan to construct a self-storage unit facility consisting of 590 units with RV storage on an approximately 5.72 acre parcel located at the southeast corner of Market Street and Great Western Drive. presenting this evening. Jessica, take it away.
Thank you, Chair. Hello, good evening, Vice Chair and Commissioners. Today, I will be continuing on from our previous meeting regarding the JT Storage project. This is located approximately 3 miles or 2.5 miles or so from the 69 highway on the corner of Great Western and Market. So you could see that right there, and that image is a recent image showing south, going north. This is the Glassford Regional Marketplace, and as you can see, there's some development that's going on across the street on the west side is the bungalows, and also right next to that is the new Crown Point Apartments. So they're currently under construction, and just to give you an overview of the overall planned area development. So the current use of that, the current designation for that area is community commercial. It's meant for residential and small scale commercial. And compatible uses that are base zoning districts are C1, C2, and RS. And there in the image you can see where the site is. Okay, so we just saw Glassford Regional Marketplace. This is from our general plan. It just shows you that area, and the image on the corner is going to be a southeast facing location from the corner of Market and Great Western. And you can see on your right, the walls that are being constructed right there are for the bungalows. Okay, it also has a couple other features. It is the properties adjacent or completely abuts to some planned multi-use paths that are expected to we are expected to also have the Jasper Parkway in place. And part of the conditions for the potential of this project is that the parkway would be fully completed. It also has an overlay of being in the Central Business District. This area is identified as being an area for economic advancement for the community. And again, on the left, I'm sorry. Okay, so those are all the overlays in the general plan. And you can see here that the surrounding parcels in that area development are zoned as allowed, C1, C2, and RS. Those are all compatible under the general plan. And you can see on the right is what is proposed is to change that to regional commercial, and that is the way that we would be able to allow the applicant to rezone in order to move forward with his proposed project. And here again is the existing zoning on the left, and just to give you an overview, the bungalows again, right next to it, and the Crown, and you can see C2 pad on the right, and then on the right side of the proposed zoning, C3 minor industrial, is just to give you an illustration, so that would change to C3 minor industrial. And again, this is the preliminary development plan the applicant submitted. On the right side, you'll see the Jasper Parkway. It is 590 units, as was mentioned, and that is it. And if you have any questions, the applicant is here as well.
Okay, thank you, Jessica.
Thank you.
At this time, we'll take questions from the commission to staff. Commissioner Laney?
Jessica, How far is this property from the Glassford Hill Summit Trail?
Let me see if I put a map there.
I see it on there, but ballpark.
A ballpark, I would say about 3 miles or so.
Miles. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions of staff? Commissioner?
I appreciate you getting us a copy of the Jasper Parkway plan. That's something that we'll be able to use in the future. So thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
Any other questions of staff at this time from the commission? All right.
Thank you. No further comments on this matter. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I'll invite the applicant up. Go ahead and state your name for the record, sir.
James Purvis.
Did you want to add or highlight anything from the presentation, sir?
I think she did a very good job of showing what's proposed to be there.
And do you have anything to add?
I personally don't. I think we've completed everything we can or it's possible to submit to you all at this time.
Okay. Any questions of the applicant from the commission?
Do you have anything you want to add?
All right, seeing none, thank you, gentlemen. Well, if there's any questions from the audience, we can invite you back up.
Okay.
Commissioner, did you have a question? No. Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right,
Thank
thank you,
you.
sir. At this point in time, we will open the floor to public comments with regard to these 3 items on the agenda. Is there anyone wishing to address the commission? Come on up, sir.
All right, Joe Hoyt, Viewpoint. At previous meetings about this Crown Point Apartments, it was mentioned that Jasper Parkway would be completed. Some of the council members had second thoughts even putting it through. Some of the council members or zoning members had second thoughts of even approving it, that Jasper Parkway was not put through. Now here we are ready to develop another portion. Jasper Parkway is not through. When is Jasper Parkway going to be through? And that's a major thoroughfare and blocking point of this whole project. Not that I have anything against a warehouse or anything else, but in this warehouse, I see there's room for RV parking. How's an RV going to go down Market Street when people from the apartments or the condos across the street park their car on the hill, put stones underneath it so they don't roll down, and we're going to have RVs and everything else going through there? It's going to be a headache. Think about it, folks. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll have staff back up here and they can go over that for us. Is there anybody else wanting to address the commission with regard to these applications? Seeing none, we'll close the floor to public comment and then we'll have definitely staff answer that question for you.
Yes, to my knowledge, there's been recent discussion on moving forward with finalizing Jasper Parkway. I don't have the specifics, but I know that that was a sense of urgency for the town to get completed.
And then Jessica, just for the record, if you can help us out, ingress and egress for this project would be off of Jasper Parkway, correct?
Yes, that's correct. It would entirely be off of Jasper Parkway. There is, I believe, it might be emergency, two areas, but they're both off of Jasper Parkway.
And there would be no ingress egress onto Great Western, correct?
That's correct.
Also, with regard to Jasper Parkway, it is, we're saying that Jasper Parkway needs to be completed before this project actually moves forward, correct? Or a portion of Jasper Parkway?
I believe it would be a portion of Jasper Parkway.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions of staff at this time from the commission? One of the questions I had, Jessica, is justification and compliance really with the general plan with regard to this application. Can you expand on if we've received justification for the general plan amendment? And, really, we see that, of course, this is in a general area, for the Glassford Hill Marketplace, but can you go over a little bit more detail with us with regard to what's in the current general plan, which is 2035, which was just approved in November, and if you are aware of any plans for that area and so forth?
Yes, so let's go here. Okay, so the area, because it is zoned community commercial, that was established when the Glassford Regional Marketplace had been passed and finalized back in 2000. And it did have specific vision for that area to remain residential, high density, and neighborhood commercial. So retail establishments, bakeries, such things like that. And so because of that, there's already the community commercial overlay, which again allows it. There was no findings that would allow that area to be zoned something that was not compatible to the surrounding areas. Is according to our general plan, the regional marketplace is meant to be a gateway for attraction, natural beauty, and to the trail that is right above here, the Summit Trail. And so it is, there is a vision for that to be more entertainment and more residential, which is why the base districts are, as mentioned, they're C1, C2, and RS. The multi-use path and the Jasper Parkway are also really important. The Jasper Parkway corridor is an important feature that is going to be, again, the gateway to not only the recreational, but to the new community that's going to be coming up in, on the north, the Jasper subdivision. And again, the general plan mentions in the economic development element the areas that are meant for high employment and high revenue for the town. And this is another just a visual to show the zoning part of it. So if it was to go, if the general plan amendment was to be amended to allow a district that is not allowed as the base in that designation, it would not be consistent with the vision of the Glassford Marketplace Regional Planned Area Development. So that's why the applicant is trying to see if there's anything else, but at the moment, this is what he wants to move forward with. So it would change. It would not be. There's no findings to say that there's significant circumstances that would support that. And I know the applicant did mention that there was some market research done. That wasn't provided to me, so I didn't include it in the packet. But that was the only means of justification for the actual general plan change. Obviously, we can't move forward with the zoning change without the general plan change. So I just wanted to give a visual of what it would look like if we did.
Okay, Jessica, thank you. Any other questions? Commissioner Evans?
This isn't a question so much as a comment. When I first looked at this property and looking at the surrounding uses, it didn't look really inconsistent in some ways. But as we look forward to defining Glassford Hill as a bit of a defining area for Prescott Valley in general, over the next several years, I'm just wondering if that's the right place for like self-storage. If that truly is going to be a future gateway into something that defines or will define a changing definition for Prescott Valley, you know, I'd see self-storage as being more appropriate elsewhere, like the ones on Valley Road, for example, and so forth. So, you know, it could be an opportunity for Mr. Spurvis to, you know, have other plans, I don't know, but I'm reluctant to see self-storage in that spot, given the continuation of what's going to be Jasper Parkway and a further definition for Prescott Valley in general.
Thank you.
Any other comments or further questions from the commission? Seeing none. Oh, Commissioner Laney?
I am concerned also because I know that there is a regional park planned on Glassford Hill. And it's going to be a combination state, county, city of Prescott, town of PV. And it's going to be, I think, huge. And a Summit Trail will be part of that. And we will also have Jasper Parkway, which will be another ingress-egress to this regional park. And I question also that this is the right location for this particular business.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Commissioner Rutherford?
Chairman, it seems to me that it's a use that is needed by that area. I also had thoughts about the permanence of it, but mini storage is a good way to warehouse land for a future use. Whether its being there would influence future uses in a direction we would prefer not to go, or whether it would be changed later to a more compatible use depending on the way the general area developments is anybody's guess at this point. I'm kind of on the fence on the whole thing.
Any other comments or questions? Griffiths?
Thank you, Chair. Ms. Jessica, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
I know that my fellow commissioners would agree with this, is that it's not always easy sitting up here and taking all of these agenda items in and the presentations. It's for our audience, it's a very difficult position and job. I feel that there is justification for self-storage. It's one of the most explosive growth industries that's happening throughout the United States. It's one of the fastest growing. This agenda item before us this evening is definitely a low impact use. We could see from our traffic analysis report that the trips were minimal. There's no water usage, low traffic generated. I am on the fence as well. I haven't made up my mind. I'm very concerned about this storage facility being in, as we have said many times tonight, the gateway of Prescott Valley with Jasper Parkway. I-69, it's a tremendous explosion of growth that's out there that's going to happen. So community commercial designations are always tough. And I just had to say that we have a difficult job. And thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. It is a difficult information to go through, but it is mentioned about 50 times in the general plan. So there's a lot of reference to it and the vision that the town has voted on for the 3035. So that is what we use today to present the information to you.
Commissioner Rankin?
I guess I look at it as need for that area. We recently approved the property that's being developed to the west of this, actually two areas there. Both the Crown Point and the bungalows at Marketplace, along with the terraces, along with Stone Ridge, and along with the property that's adjoining to the east. And right now, to get to that sort of a storage facility, all those people have to travel down Highway 69 several miles to get to something that they can use. So I just look at it as for that area of our town, that it's going to be a good fit. And that's my support.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, we'll bring it back to the commission, and we'll...
Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. So with that, is there a motion to approve General Plan 22-004?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve application GPA 22004.
Is there a second? Been moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Evans?
No.
Commissioner Rutherford?
Yes.
Commissioner Laney? Commissioner Griffiths? Commissioner Rankin? Vice Chairperson King?
No.
Chairperson Zurcher?
No. On a vote of 4-3, the motion does not pass. Is there a motion to approve zoning map 22-008?
How can we?
Exactly. So with that, is there a motion to not approve zoning map change 22-008?
I move that we not approve zoning map change 22-008.
Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Seconded, please.
Commissioner Laney did.
Thank you. Commissioner Evans?
Yes.
Commissioner Rutherford?
Yes.
Commissioner Laney? Commissioner Griffiths?
No.
Commissioner Rankin?
No.
Vice Chairperson King?
Yes.
Chairperson Zurcher?
Yes. Moving on to preliminary development plan 22-010. Is there a motion not to approve preliminary development plan 22-010?
I'll move to not approve preliminary development plan 22-010.
Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Evans?
Yes.
Commissioner Rutherford?
No.
Commissioner Laney? Commissioner Griffiths? Commissioner Rankin?
No.
Vice Chairperson King?
Yes.
Chairperson Zurcher?
Yes. All right. Moving on in the agenda. General Plan 22-005, upon the application of Christine Gay, agent with Ashdorn LLC, a request for a minor general plan amendment, GPA from community commercial to low-density residential on approximately 3 acres located north of the intersection of State Route 89A and Old Fane Road. 7D, zoning map change 22-010 upon the application of Christine Gay, agent with Ashdoorn LLC, a request for a zoning map change ZMC from C1 PAD, commercial planned area development to R1L18, residential single-family limited on approximately 3 acres located north of the intersection of State Route 89A and Old Fane Road. And then preliminary development plan 22-002 upon the application of Christine Gay, agent with Ashdoorn LLC, a request for a preliminary plat for Mingus West Unit 10, a single-family residential community with 6 lots on approximately 3 acres, located north of the intersection of State Route 89A and Old Fane Road. Jessica, take it away.
Thank you, Chairperson Zerker. And Commissioners, I present to you today the culmination, I guess you can say, of the Mingus West planned area development. Currently, the sites that they are applying to rezone to residential is community commercial. It's all vacant at the moment. When they had their preliminary development plan for that entire phase of units 5 through 9, the commissioners had asked if they would be purchasing the commercial parcels, and at that time they did not own them, so they were not able to plat them. But now they do, and so that's why we're here today. And it's going to go from community commercial designation to the low density. The zoning, currently, again, it is commercial C1, it is general services, and this is the proposed rezoning, which would be consistent with the overall planned area development. And this is an image of the updated planned area development. It is under a preliminary, I'm sorry, it is under the PAD, so they do have the opportunity for deviations. When I was reviewing it, since I was not knowledgeable with the entire project, I did review it under the 18 district, but it is allowed for them to deviate under that PAD. And you'll see here on the far left is the proposed Unit 10, and this would be added to their current development agreement that is in place. The water will allow for a water report in the meantime until they go for final development, which they would provide the water assurance at that time. And I believe that's it. I do have some stipulations here that I wanted to clarify. Is, again, the water assurance will be at a final plat, and the transit analysis report, I have been advised that because it will not cause significant impacts to the existing transit impact report, that a supplemental report stating that would be sufficient to move forward with the final development plan. And with that, we do recommend that you approve the general plan amendments and the zoning map change in conjunction with the preliminary plat, GPA 22-005, ZMC 22-010, and PP 22-002. Thank you.
Thank you. This time, is there any questions from the commission to staff? Commissioner Griffiths.
Thank you, Chair. Ms. Jessica, this has to do with the considerations for the commission that was in our packet.
Yes.
And item number 2 and number 3 indicate that prior to the final plat, these reports shall be reviewed and approved. My question is, who shall be reviewing and approving them? And I'd like that information to go in the package for council.
Absolutely. That's going to be verified by engineering staff.
And then who approves them? Engineering staff as well?
Let me see. Utilities, DWR.
So you'll make that corrective
Yes.
notice? And then number 4, should we change the way that consideration reads?
Yes, I will be changing that. Like I said, I had started reviewing it, not knowing that it was under a planned area development and that they had flexibility. So, yes, that will be amended.
Do we need to put it on record tonight how it will be amended?
I will, for the final development plan, we would need it anyways. We would need a statement. But from what I've been told from engineering is that a statement would be sufficient.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Any other questions of the commission, from the commission to staff? Jessica, I had a quick question. Do we know, and maybe the applicant would be better to, to ask this question of, but the other commercial property just right across from this one on Mockingbird, do we know what's going to happen with that piece of property?
I will let the applicant shed some light on that. I don't have anything in the works for that, so I cannot comment.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, we'll invite the applicant up.
Great, thank you.
Go ahead and state your name for the record.
Chair, thank you, and members of the Planning and Zoning Commission. My name's Dwayne Hunn. I'm the Vice President on Land with Dorn Homes. I think we've met before. This project is just continuation of the Mingus West project that we're already under construction on. And I tried to buy the 2 3-acre parcels that were originally planned for commercial before we went into preliminary plat, and they weren't available. One of them became available, and that's why we purchased that and are bringing that through tonight. The other parcel, you may remember the history on this, but that used to be called Fane Road, running up through the middle of that. And in the past, there was a plan to have that be a major road, north-south through that area of Prescott Valley. I think things have changed since then, and the owner of that small parcel still thinks it's going to be a major, transportation corridor, and thinks it's going to be a valuable commercial property someday. So I was unable to convince them to sell it to us at a price that would be appropriate for residential versus commercial. To answer your question, I would like to clarify a couple things that came up. We've already widened 89A out there, you're probably aware. Talking with the Public Works Department and the ADOT guys, 6 more lots on top of 243 lots was not going to cause any change to the improvements in the ADOT highway, so neither department saw a need to do a new traffic study for these 6 lots. And then on the water, we're building new water tanks, as you're probably aware, out there for the upper pressure zone. In fact, they should be painting them now, except the snow is probably keeping them from doing that. But that will provide water. Tanks are built in certain sizes, and we already are going to have more water than we need in the system, so for the 6 lots. So talking with Neil Wadsworth and his team, there was a feeling like we didn't need to do another whole water study. But we always, with every submittal of a final development plan, final plat, and improvement plans, there's always a water report that comes with it that will certainly address the capacity of the system. So that will be taken care of, I think, as noted. The other thing worth mentioning, this is really an amendment to the preliminary plat for units 5 through 9 to add unit 10. It's not necessarily a standalone preliminary plat, although I think that's the way it's being read, which maybe it doesn't matter. But we originally had planned to just make it part of unit 7, but in our work with ADWR, there's some confusion, or there would have been confusion, because the original, now I'm boring you with details, but I wanted you to understand why we came up with Unit 10. There was the old Mingus West fell under the old rules before the, active management areas were put in place by ADWR, as some of you have been involved in that for a while and understand. And so those 6 lots were not part of the original certificate of water, assured water supply. So we bought some of the town effluent credits and went and applied for our assured water supply for those 6. And for that reason, we had to have a different number on it so we didn't confuse ADWR. And I actually got our certificate for those 6 lots Friday in the email. So we now have the assured water supply for those 6 lots. So when we do go to develop it, we'll do it as part of Unit 7, which will be our 3rd phase. So we'll just do a final plat of Unit 7 and Unit 10 together. So a little bit of confusion, but I wanted you to understand there's a reason behind all that.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Sure. Any other questions? I'm happy to answer.
Any questions of the applicant from commission?
Chair.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. At this time, I'll open the floor to public comment. Is there anyone wishing to address the commission on these applications? Seeing none, we'll close the floor to public comment, and we'll bring that back to the commission. Any other further comments or questions? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve General Plan Amendment 22-005?
I keep forgetting. I move we approve GPA -005 with the stipulations staff put on.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second, Mr. Chair.
Been moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Evans?
Yes.
Commissioner Rutherford?
Yes.
Commissioner Laney?
Yes,
Commissioner Griffiths?
Yes.
Commissioner Rankin?
Yes,
Vice Chairperson King?
Yes.
Chairperson Zercher?
Yes. Is there a motion to approve zoning map change 22-010?
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve zoning map change C22-010.
It's been moved and seconded. All, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Evans?
Yes.
Commissioner Rutherford?
Yes.
Commissioner Laney?
yes,
Commissioner Griffiths?
Yes.
Commissioner Rankin?
yes,
Vice Chairperson King?
Yes.
Chairperson Zercher?
Yes. And is there a motion to approve preliminary plat, excuse me, I thought it was preliminary development plan, but it's preliminary plat 22-002, and with the conditions and corrections?
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve preliminary plat 22-002 with the referenced changes considerations.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Evans?
Yes.
Commissioner Rutherford?
Yes.
Commissioner Laney?
yes,
Commissioner Griffiths?
Yes.
Commissioner Rankin?
yes,
Vice Chairperson King? Yes. Chairperson Zercher?
Yes. Moving on to item number 9, call to the public, consideration to discussion of comments from the public. Those wishing to address the Planning and Zoning Commission need not request permission in advance. Action taken as a result of public comment will be limited to directing staff to study the matter or rescheduling the matter for further consideration and decision at a later date. Is there anyone wishing to address the commission? Seeing none, we'll move on to item number 10, adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. We stand adjourned. Thank you.